Good morning, Grand Rising. Time coming. Good morning, everybody. So let's just have this conversation about the game being over. So for those of us who either is following the religion of the 40 days of Lent or just essentially trying their best to be Christ-like. Over the past 40 days, they have been fasting. Over the past 40 days, they have been going through some things. But today, the game is over. You have to find out what your final score is. So I will just speak about me, my journey during this 40 days. The 40 days was very trying. It was very conflicting. There was things that was coming about me or at me at a situation at a rate that may have never been displayed before in my life. Whether it was flashes of memories, good or bad, whether it was visually seeing other people go through trials and tribulations and how they're handling it. Good morning, Tay. Whether it was just a plethora of things that was going on during these 40 days. Some days were good, some days were bad. Some days I was high as the clouds, and some days it just seemed like I was roasting marshmallows in hell. That's how a fast for me goes, because you're trying to get rid of so many different things. You're trying to get rid of, you're trying to find so many solutions, but you're getting rid of so many things. It's pretty much like cleaning your storehouse. You're cleaning your rooms, cleaning your house, cleaning your garage. You go through so many different things. You find things, you look at it, you contemplate whether they're good or not, and then you make your final answer, your final solution with that product or toy or whatever it is. So when you make these decisions to go on a fast, you have to, you think you're prepared for things, and then some things just come out of nowhere. It's like a blitz. It's a blitz of emotions, a blitz of mental thoughts come into your mind. And it's very trying. You sit there and you look and observe, and it's all right, well, oh wow, I was doing that bad, or wow, I really need to switch that up, or hey, I need to improve on that good gesture or a good thought that I have, and it's just so much that goes on during the fast. It's not just the fast, to give up something physically. The fast is supposed to allow you to allow your trinity, your mind, your body, the soul, to become one, to integrate into one being, one trinity, right? And in that process, you have to move some things. You have to juggle things. You have to get rid of things that don't belong there. You got to get rid of the negative things that's going on in your life. But I tell you what, now that the game is over, you can see things clearly when you win. When you overcome that fast, when you overcome that stepping stone and you make it a doormat, you can see things clearly. Now that your mind and your body and soul is aligned to one, you can see things clearer than you ever did before. It makes your 2020 seem like you can see through the walls. You can see through the brick walls that people are putting up around them. You can see through that cement that is guarding somebody's castle. You can observe things so much clearly when these three things, this trinity in your life becomes one, right? And even though you can still see things, sometimes it could be bad because you can see the chaos on the other side of the wall. You can see somebody about to start a fire because they're not paying attention to what they're doing, right? So it's just time, like it was just time to have this fast. It's time for us to be clear about what we need. For those that are done with their fast, your game is over. Did you win or did you lose? So now it's a time to go through the replays of your fast. Now it's time to sit there and decide, just to see what you did wrong and what you did right. Did you overcome your wrongs during the game or during the fast? I'm saying game as an analogy to sports. Ladies, forgive me. I don't know if you guys are, into sports like that, so bear with me. Good morning, Cheeky. So so now you start reviewing the plays, right? You see you made a move. The move was good or the move was bad. You can sit there and now contemplate that. Now that your game is over. Now you can sit back and say, yo, I could have done this way. I could have done this better than I did, or I could have done this that way. Now that the game is over. I believe that I won my fast. I believe that I won my fast because, like I said, my Trinity is in one alignment now. What does that mean? What did I gain from it? It means that I can allow the dead to bury the dead. And I know that's a Bible scripture, but for me, it's not literal, of course. But you gotta bury those dead situations. You gotta bury the depression situations. You gotta bury the back and forth situations. You gotta bury the things that are not going to give you life, and it's not going to produce a good fruit in your life, right? So those people that is holding on, no more holding on to the pains of yesterday. No more holding on to the memories of a loved one that passed, as far as their death. It's time for you to put that into a living situation. Meaning, if your past, I mean, if the death of somebody you love has occurred, and you know that they want you to do a certain thing because they always felt that that was right, it's time to put that into play. Ms. T, good morning. It's time to put that into play. It's time to see if that love was genuine, if that love that they have for you is not going to put you in harm's way. It's not going to allow you, to stay on your crooked roads, right? Because a lot of us have traveled the crooked roads, meaning that we trying to get through we trying to get through avenues, going through shortcuts and all of those things. But now that my game is over, I'm starting to see that the crooked road, the shortcut, ain't the best. Now I see that finishing the race that I have, it took my endurance. It had to take patience for me to get to a certain spot of this victory for me in my life. So now that I see that, now I have to take the long way, right? I had to take that long way just because I had to see everything for what it was. I'm not literally saying that I seen snakes, but there were snakes in the grass because I was able to cut the grass down low. There was people who was milking for things and looking for things, and they didn't get a chance to find it because I can now see what they was looking for. It's just time for the dead to bury the dead. Their situation is no longer existent to me. It's dead. So now that it's dead, I could begin to live. It's amazing to me how they they arranged this situation to where you start your fast at the dead end of winter, and then it ends in the beginning of spring, which means that you are able to get life. So now it's time for me to get my life back. You make the best out of their bad situation. You make the best out of your bad situation, right? They planned this thing for a paganistic situation. But if you become Christ-like, which means that you know you love things with attention and humility and meekness and all of those beautiful attributes that we all have inside of us, we can make the best out of a bad situation. They say make lemons. When you have lemons, make lemonade, right? So that's what you do, right? The sweetness of that lemon is going to allow you to be nourished. So that's what you do in that dead situation. You turn it around and turn it into your favor. But until you understand that your Trinity, your mind, body, and soul has to be in one accord, you can then turn water into wine. You can do things like that when you are on your purpose. So since my game is over, I now have to be on a purpose. Will it benefit anybody? That's not up for me to decide. I am a creator, but not the creator. You understand what I'm saying? So now that I'm going forward, right? Whatever I do going forward, I hope it touches somebody. I hope it gives somebody the advantage of Ace. That was a good idea. Let me try to apply that in my life. And it's just it's just things that you gain during the fast that is irreplaceable, right? People that you gain during the fast, they're irreplaceable, right? The majority of you guys that are here on the chat right now, I have gained something from you. Even you, Miss T, and we just met maybe 4 hours ago, 5 hours ago. And the fact that you came on and you displayed what you displayed, that took courage. That's what makes some of us great, because we are at our highest at our lowest of lows, we become courageous, because the Bible says, when I am weak, then I am strong. And in that situation, I've seen you getting stronger in the midst of being at your weakest point. But I would not never understood that if I didn't take this fast. But because the game is over and I've gained the victory, I am allowed to see it in that format, in that fashion, that maybe I wouldn't have saw it 40 days ago. Maybe I would have just prayed for you. But the prayer was stronger today because I understand that it was through sincerity. It was through the fact that I understood your pain, even though you didn't clearly say what you were saying. I know that you needed the prayer, right? And I've done that before and it has helped. But because, like I said, I went through this fast, it allowed me to gain a strength that I didn't have before the fast. And so because of the fast, I now understand that I have to do things in clarity, with a purpose, with an understanding that it's going to help somebody. You already feel it. Now, do because of the fast, now I know it. Now I know something is about to end or begin, whether it depends on which way that I'm looking at the perspective. So because I went through this fast and because I won, I can do these things in a better format. For those of you that may not have gotten the final score or you are still tied, I ask that you continue to fast. If you got to go into overtime for your fast, go into overtime, right? Because you need the victory. You don't need you don't want the defeat, but you need the victory. You don't want the loss, but you need the victory. So that way you can get up and do the things that you need to do, what you pray or what you're fasting for. That is the purpose of the fast, to get a clarity of mind, to purify everything that your aura is needed for, right? And you have to go ahead and continue to fight that thing if you are tired, right? Give yourself another day, another 2 days, another 3 days. But you're going to have to finish that. You're going to have to finish the fast, and you're going to have to finish it strong in order to get the victory. If you don't get the victory, that means you lost. And it's sad, I don't really like to talk about it, but some people may have lost the fast, right? Some people may have gave up. Some people may have thrown the white flag. I'll tell you guys this, if that is your situation, it's not too late. I fasted for the Lent fast, for to be Christ-like. Some people fasted to be, the Passover season. And for those of you that are fasting now during Ramadan, I want you to hear this, because you may be going through this as we speak. You may be what are you guys in, like, your first 10 days of the fast? You may be going through the same trial and tribulation. You may be being blitzed with emotions. You may be being blitzed with memories of tragic situations, as far as, a harmful one, is a negative one, that's to where, something that's hurt you and not had the possibility of helping you going forward in life. It's keeping you stuck. But through your fast, through this fast, you will be able to break that down. You will be able to disintegrate that and be able to allow to forgive that person that has done you wrong, not for their sake, but for your sake, to keep going forward in life. This is your time to say, you know what? I am here for a purpose. If you're fasting in Ramadan, Allah is going to give you a purpose. That's who you call God. So he's going to give you that purpose. He's going to give you that strength that is already within you, but he's going to stir it up to where it's going to manifest in you and illuminate your life. It's going to make you your greatest self and not your regular self. If you understand what I'm saying, we are all human beings, but all of us here can be great. It's in your storehouse. He's cleaning out the storehouse for you. Now it's time, as he cleans out the storehouse, you have to put it into motion. You have to believe that you are great, and your greatness is getting ready to be shining through the rest of your body. You got to believe that the Trinity is going to work in your favor, not the Holy Trinity, but your Trinity, the mind, body, and soul. That is holy too. We have to understand that God did not place us with nothing that we cannot use for our greatness. We just have to know how to use it. He planted the seed in us, right? If they say faith plus works is dead, how much is your gift? How much more is your gift dead if you don't, use it? It's like a guitar. You just got the strings on it. It's no good. You got to play it, right? It's just like a video game. If you got the whole console and don't play it, what good is it? All it's doing is collecting dust. It's time for us to get ready to use this thing, dust it off, and go on ahead and do it. But if you're going through your fast, this is your time to prepare yourself for it. You know, it's time for us to say that, you know what, I'm tired of being an average Joe or average Jane. It's time for my greatness to be displayed. It's time for my mind to be as creative as it's supposed to be. There is greatness in each and every one of us. And, you know, we have to come to that understanding that it's in us. It's already there. You know, for Cheeky, you continue to be that historian that gives us the fact that, yo, they have told us a story that's not even true. Now it's time for me to put the truth out on the table. You understand? Tay, you continue to manifest yourself into that humble person that you need to be. That don't mean to quench the thirst of life. That don't mean to quench the thirst of your strength. It just means you are able to control it. You are a chef, so you already know what fire does. You can turn it up or turn it down. You know, intrinsic. You have hit me in your live. We have knocked on each other's door in just a couple of lives that you have already displayed. And I don't think you saw any of them. So I understand where your wavelength is going as far as your message. And I also understand that you want to be great, and it's going to come into existence for you. As greater is he that is within you than you that is in the world. I'm paraphrasing that, but the understanding is it's already inside of us. Meek, good morning. How you feeling? Glad to see you. Hope all is well with you. And those are the things that we got to understand, right? Well, Meek, you already know how I feel about you, because without you, I probably wouldn't even be on this thing having this conversation. You and Watermelon and Cheeky and you know, Maritza, Selena. It's so many. Atmosphere. Let me not forget Atmosphere. Realist, AAA accountability. He's a part of the same thing. It's you guys that say, yo, you know what? You put the positive battery in my back. You allowed me. You said, you know what? I think you can do better. Sometimes it's crazy that other people see the greatness in you before you see the greatness in yourself. Did you have to let some people go, Gary? Absolutely, Tay. You got to, because in order for this fast to be completed, you had to grow. And sometimes you have to outgrow certain people. You have to outgrow certain situations. You had to let them go, because if you didn't let them go, they're gonna be an anchor on your ankle. You know the old mafia people. They they put a chain around your ankle with the ball on it, so your ass don't get back up from that when they throw you in that water in the ocean. That means let the dead bury the dead. If it's a dead thing, it's a dead thing. It's a reason why Jesus knocked over that fig tree. He killed for what? It's not bearing good fruit. And if it's not going to help you to bear good fruit, you got to let the dead bury the dead. It's no more frightened about the situation, right? Tay, I appreciate the fact that you spoke your piece. Now it's time to let that dead situation go, because if you give it any more strength, it's going to it could possibly make you stagnated. And we already know that stagnation kills dreams. And if it kills dreams, it's going to kill your momentum. And your momentum is on a high right now, right? Meek, the same thing for you. Don't worry about the stagnation of your situation, right? There's greatness in you. We do things big. And if we got to do it big, we let them small things be pushed to the side. It's a small thing to a giant. And that's what we have to understand. And I will tell you guys this also: when you finish your fast, when you truly unadulteratedly finish your fast, Remember those occasions that you have to rise to? You will be the occasion that people will have to rise to, meaning they will see you in a different format that they were going to have to step their game up, not to compete with you, but to understand that, yo, that person is so great that I want to follow that footstep. It's an honor to be on this. It's an honor to be on this platform. It's even more of an honor to be able to speak how you are willing to speak. When you speak, you are teaching. Like I said a while ago, for those that don't know, we're more than influencers. I mean, we're more than content creators. We're influencers. What is an influencer? One that is able to influence somebody in a direction. I just pray that we're doing it in the right direction. We already know what side the other side is on because they do things out of chaos and mayhem. It's time to understand that our peace is no longer chaos and mayhem. Our peace is just that, peace, a peace of mind, a peace of spirit inside of you that is so at ease that you can sleep without a restless night. Like you can sleep your whole entire night away and not jump up at 2 o'clock in a cold sweat. It's time for all of us to get this thing together. I just believe that it takes a fast to do it. A fast of something. If it ain't food, it's YouTube. I've been contemplating to step away from this thing for a while. Why? Because I'm watching and observing the chaos of what's going on around this thing. You know, shout out to the word, my 33 brother. He says, I have patience. I want to tell him he got patience. I know he's going to catch this later, but you got patience. How do I know you got patience? Because you can deal with this nonsense and continue on your path. It's like a gnat to you. You can just swat it off and continue to go. For me, it's aggravated. I'm aggravated for you guys. I'm aggravated for you, Inte. I really am. I'm ready to say, yo, enough is enough. Let's stop talking about that. Let's just go on and fulfill your purpose. Your purpose is to be great. Good morning, Diane. How you doing? Atmosphere, good morning. I just shouted you out, man. But it's just time. Like, it's just time. Diane, did you finish your fast? How did it go for you? Right? I'm saying that a fast is necessary. It's a cleansing of all 3 entities in your body. You got to cleanse this thing in order for it to be purified. Once again, you cannot pour new wine in an old wineskin bottle. It's impossible. It's going to taste disgusting. All because we trying to save something that's not worth saving. Let's just put everything in a new. There is a renewing of the mind that has happened during the fast. There is a renewing of the soul that has happened during the fast. Allow this thing to manifest into the greatest thing that you can possibly be, and that is yourself. No weapon formed against you can now prosper because you have an understand. Congratulations, Diane, and I knew you had it in you, and I knew that that your strength was going to uphold you in spite of everything that was trying you. You have gained the victory. We no longer have to turn around and say, you know what? I'm not giving in. You know that you're not going to give in because you have succeeded in your fast and you've gained a victory out of it. You know what I mean? Now you can go ahead and say, what's the next thing I need to conquer? For a lot of us, it's another stepping stone for us that we have got through this fast. Good morning, Shay. How you feeling? God bless you. Right? It's a beautiful thing when you complete this fast. The game is over. Your victory is here. Now that you ain't got to worry about that smoking addiction, Diane. Now you got to go on and conquer what's next for you. Right? It's just the fact that you did the fast and completed it. Now you understand that you are great in overcoming a situation. You are great in overcoming whatever that it was holding you back from a while ago. This is why I implore the fast. This is why I kept saying just fast, just fast, just fast, just fast. because that Trinity, now your Trinity is in one line. Your mind and body and soul is in one accord. And now that you conquered what you conquered, now you can take your next step, right? You can say, you know what? I got this thing done. Now, what's my message? What's my message for the people? Now your test has become a testimony. Allow that to be your testimony that you got through, that you finished your fast, that now you gave up something that you thought that you needed, and it was only a want the whole entire time. We have to understand that we have to stop turning wants into needs. I want to be loved. I want to be rich. You can manifest anything that you want, but if you put the things that you don't need to the side, you can focus on what's great inside of you. I'm not going to beat y'all overhead with Bible scripture. I'm just telling you, if you're Christ-like, he's already inside of each and every one of us, whether you believe in God or not. If the faith the size of a mustard seed could move a mountain, I already told you, how much more is the DNA that God has given you of him inside of you? What could that move? It could move things that you never thought possible. It will move that depression so far away that the joy may be too loud for you. It could take that worryation so far away from you that the peace will be so great that you be wanting to give it to somebody else because you have the abundance of it. And that's what the fast will give you. It'll give you an abundance of joy, of a positive thing, and not always focused on a negative thing. But as long as we don't as long as we ain't finished the fast, as long as we didn't win the game, we won't know what's inside of us. And that's why I'm going to implore once again, if you felt like you lost, it's never too late to start over. And if your game is tied, it's time for you to go into overtime. Give yourself the quote unquote 5 minutes that you need to get yourself ready. And in the next 5 minutes, you go on out there and destroy whatever's left for you to complete your victory. But the victory is yours. It's right. It's right in front of you. You got to be able to see it. You have to wait. You have to be able to receive it as you see it. Because if you doubt yourself, you're going to be doubting Thomas, and you're not going to believe that greatness is inside of you. But I tell you what, though, when you do finish this fast, if you are fasting, you will never, there will be a change in you. You will no longer be Saul. You will be Paul. The problem with the world is there's too many Sauls. We think we're doing the right thing, and then I don't need this person. I'm going to talk about that in another live, the divine will versus permissive will. We're going to understand that at another time, as long as God gives me the strength to do it. Because even though we still won, it doesn't mean that the hater's not going to stop attacking you. If you believe that, you gone crazy. You think he want to lose a prize? You are a prize. In your spirit, you are a prize. There's a battle going on inside of us each and every day. Whether we want to believe it or not, that's where the battlefield is at. It's inside of our minds, our bodies, our souls. It's in there, right? Even though nobody got a heaven or hell to put us in, we do the most damage to ourselves because we continue to doubt ourselves. But as long as you finish your fast, you can understand there may be days that I may lose a battle, but I'm never going to lose the war. That's what the fast is going to allow you to see. Because it doesn't mean that you're not going to, you being tried is over. I mean, Jesus was tried even after the fast. Are you kidding me? He was tried. He was going through it until the cross. He had to fight his fleshly self himself. You know what, God, I don't want this will. Oh, wait a minute. Let thy will be done. Meaning he was being fleshly at a time. It's going to happen. We're human beings. We have that understanding of being human, but at the same time, we want to be so spiritual that nothing can harm us. And that's going to happen to each and every one of us. You right, Ms. T. You got to put the whole armor of God on. But it must first start by allowing the fast to allow your Trinity to become one. Your mind, your body, your soul. If that doesn't happen, It doesn't matter what type of armor you put on, because something is always going to pierce it, because something, the Trinity is not working as one, right? You're going to overwork one, and that's going to get weak, and then the other one's going to get weak, and then you're going to be attacked again. It's like the Bible says, don't let the enemy come back, because if he comes back, he's coming back sevenfold. He's coming back heavier than it is before. So you always going to have to be mindful about what's coming ahead of you. But only through a fast are you going to really understand the stories that is being told by the Bible. So some of it, you may not take literally, but some of it you're going to have to, because you're going to be under attack, whether we understand it or not. And it's just crazy and mind blowing how much of this stuff is going to happen. You got to be in constant prayer, but you also going to have to be, after you be in prayer, you're going to have to be able to sit still and allow that prayer to work. Because if you constantly moving, you're not going to be able to be foundated, because you're moving too much. You can move on the foundation, but only when it's secure, or only when it's firm. You understand what I'm saying? And that's where the fast comes in, because you are able to you're able to create that foundation to where it's so solid that even if something does try to crack it, it ain't going to do no damage to it. Good morning, CC. How you doing? And that's the thing, that's why the fast was important for me. Did I lose some people? Yes, I did. Did it hurt? Like a mug. But at the end of the day, it doesn't mean that you don't love that person, right? It just means that they was there for a season. It just means that they was not meant to be in your life. It doesn't matter if it was your brother, your mother, your cousin, a significant other, a husband or a wife. Somebody lost something. Somebody outgrew somebody. And as much as you want to hold on to them and help them grow, they're going to have to want that for themselves. There's nothing you can do about that. Shout out to Shay Love. She gives out positive. She is so positive, and she's so gracious with the gifts that God has given her, right? Even she sometimes she understands that, I may not be liked by everybody, but I know I don't have a reason not to love them in spite of their feelings towards me. That's a gift. That's a gift that God has given her. And we have that too. That's why I always tell everybody, you are a storehouse. You're the storehouse because everything that God has given you is within you, right? You just going to have to go in there and find it. That's another reason for the fast. You got to know what's inside of you. We just know a portion of what we have. But if we stir that gift up that's given to us, we can do the things that we thought was impossible before the fast was even occurring. Shay is so humble at the same time. She is. And there's no doubt. I mean, I know there's times that she be ready. You know what? Let me pull the old Shay out of me. Let me just take somebody's head off. I get it. Urban, good morning. How you feeling? It's just the fact that she is just sitting there. Tell you another one. I promise you. Listen. I tell the word this all the time, Shay. Tay. I said, yo, Tay is becoming so humble and so meek at the same time. But I know there's that one time she just be ready to explode. She's imploded inside of it. She's fighting so hard to keep that inside of her. But that one time that button get pushed, she's gonna come out and then ask herself for forgiveness and come back to herself. That is because you fasted. You understand what you're doing. You understand that I need to control that, because if I don't control that, that's going to be a raging inferno, right? You understand that those things that you trying to get rid of, they're never really gone. That's going to be a continuous fight every day of your life. It's like a person recovering from alcohol. They know that they're never going to be a cured alcoholic. They know that they're going to have to fight that each and every day. So it is with your spirit. You're going to have to do the same thing. Because like I just told you, if Legion comes back, He's coming back sevenfold. And if he comes back sevenfold, will you be ready to fight that off? You may not be, because you didn't prepare for that, right? That's what the purpose of the fast for. You wanted to fast. You've been bombarded in the fast. Even when you wasn't ready, you found the strength to overcome the bombardments. You overcame the fact that you were being attacked by things that was so far in your past you thought you got rid of. It knocked at the door, said, I'm still here. What up, though? You like, oh, hell no, I'm closing that door. You put the padlock on there. You put the dresser in front of the door. You did everything you can, but you looked out that window. He's still there. And that's the point. If you don't understand that during the fast, that you're going to understand it afterwards. That there's things that's still going to come back. There may be a new enemy coming around the door. That's something you're going to have to prepare for too. The fast is just allowing you to gain your strength inside of you, allowing your trinity to align together. If you don't align it together, you're easy pickings for the enemy. And that's just a factual thing. Like I said, I'm proud of Tay. She's fighting it every day. Of course, you're going to be worried about her because, it's not hard to snap back into it. Some of us, when we go through trials and tribulation, we say, let's go back to our normal selves. That's a fight in itself. I don't want to be that old me. You guys probably don't want to be that old you. You understand? So only through the fast, you're going to be able to get that. For those that are in Ramadan, I implore you to stick with it, right? I know it may be hard. I know it may be trying, but your victory at hand is going to supersede everything that you're going through. I promise that. You're going to have to be like Job. You're going to have to stand still and understand how much God has given you and how much more he can give you after you felt like you lost everything. That's just the way that this goes, right? We're going to be tried. In the Lord's Prayer, we say, lead us not into temptation. But without the temptation, you don't have a test. And without the test, you can't have a testimony. There's 3 T's in there. So you gotta have to withstand all of that to get to your last and final T, which is your testimony. That you have overcome everything that was thrown at you. You have overcome sickness. You have overcome mental health sickness. You have overcome all of these things to become your greatest self. And I know that it seemed impossible, but improbable is not impossible, right? Impossible is not impossible because you have that gift. You have that little drop of God inside of you. And you may feel like it's smaller than that mustard seed. But like I just told you guys, if the mustard seed could move mountains, you can move a whole planet just by that one drop of God that is inside of you. You have to receive that. I just found it out. I seen how much it worked. I was moving people around like it was nothing. Why? Because they just didn't fit. They're not Scorpio Mama, good morning. They just didn't fit into what the purpose is in life. The purpose in life is to try to do the best that you can to uplift people, to encourage people, to be Christ-like. That is something that Christ would do. That's something that Jesus himself did. Like I told y'all, he went to the enemy side of the world and said, yo, I'm here for you. When other people didn't want to go over there, when other people didn't want, we can't talk to the enemy. With Christ, there is no enemy. I know Shay says it all the time. I love everybody because she feels that there's no enemy. That's a Christ-like being. That's a Christ-like soul right there. That is something that we all have. We just got to put it into display. Even when we're mad at somebody because they did us wrong, we have to. That's what turning the other cheek is. Even when they get smacked, okay. Your right side of your face may be on fire, but you're gonna have to implore to the left, not to turn it over for them to smack it, but to have the cool, not to put your hands on somebody. That's the turning the other cheek that I'm talking about. I believe that's the turning of the cheek that God and Christ was talking about. We got to instill these things. We have to put these things on display. We have to truly understand if no weapon formed against us is going to prosper, we have to put that on display. But you can only put that on display if you truly understand what's inside of you, the God inside of you, your conscience that is your first creature is inside of you. The DNA of God is inside of you. You have to understand that it's already been given to you. It's not going to fall out of the sky like manna. This is not the Old Testament. This is your testament. Everyone has a testament going forward. It may not hit the Bible, but you can make your Bible. Your story is being written out right now. You have to be strong enough to withstand whatever is coming towards you. You have to be, and everything is going to be on display. We got cameras all over the place. We got our own testimonies and things like that. So whatever we do, our Bible of our life is being written. And it also is going to be passed down from generation to generation, from your kids to your grandkids, to their grandkids, to their, it's going to be passed down. And plus, that's what this is all about. The Bible says be fruitful and multiply, but you also must understand, you must nurture the multiplication that you are influencing. We are more than content creators on this, guys. I promise you that. We are influencers. We have to all tell each other, yo, you falling short. Yo, you tripping. You need to stop that. And we don't have to put that on display. I don't hate nobody. If you got a critique of me, hey, feel free to tell me. I'm willing to learn. And that's another thing I learned during the fast. I could never be grown because as long as I'm growing, I cannot grow. And if I cannot grow, I could not finish the fast at all because nothing could tell me what to do. That's why each and every one of us, it's a lot of ladies in the chat, right? Let me ask y'all a question. If your child is 35 years old, do you see him as your adult child or always as your little baby? And that's how God views us. He views us as a child because a child will always be able to soak up whatever knowledge that is in front of them. So too should we be. They say old dogs can't learn new tricks because they're grown. They shut it off. But as long as you are growing, you can still grow at 60. If you can give life at 60, why you still can't grow? In the mind, not physically, but in the mind, in the spirit, in the soul, you can grow. All of these things can do this. We choose to spiritually slap. Yeah, just do it that way. You understand? Right, Cheeky, they still your babies no matter how old they are. And that's how God views us. That's how we are viewed throughout the entire being of mind, body, and soul. We have growth. We still growth inside of us. Some of us are still crawling before we stand up and begin our walk. Some of us are walking. Some of us may be running. If we are running, just remember you have a race to run. The race is not given to the swift nor the strong, but those who endure to the end. And you will not get to the end correctly in a pace that you need to without giving yourself time to fast and get yourself together and working your Trinity to work as one. That's all I'm telling you guys. And if you don't believe it, I suggest that you try a fast out for yourself. I'm not talking about the Bible fast is where you going without water and food for a certain amount of time. If you can do that, God bless you. But it's time to give up something. Sometimes I wish Diane would, give her testimony of how she overcame her cigarettes addiction during the fast, because that may be something that somebody else needs. That may be something that somebody truly desires, but may not understand that the strength is in them. But until they hear somebody else testimony, now they got the motivation to do it. You understand what I'm saying? Sometimes we should be learning by just observing, not just by going through things on our own accord. I'm not going to touch that. I'm not going to touch that stove because I see my brother touch the stove. His hand is on fire. I ain't doing that. We should be learning like that instead of having to go through the experience. Now, some of us want to go through the experiences. God bless you. I'd rather learn in the nicest way possible. I would like to learn in a format to where there is no harm from learning. There is no casualty of learning. And during the fast, even though it does cause pain to your mind and your body and your soul, because people may be leaving your life that may or may not belong there, or people may feel like you different because you are different. That's their problem. If they're not willing to elevate with you, then they need to separate from you. And that's just the truth. It's not your fault that you want better for yourself, and not talking about financial better, an abundance rather. An abundance does not mean riches of the world. An abundance means the gift that's inside of you. You can have all of the abundance in the world, but what good is it if you don't use it? What good is being smart if you don't share it? What good is love if you don't display it to somebody? You see what I'm saying? But until you get until that place of fasting and finishing your fast, you may never know what those things are like. You may see an inkling of it, but how much more would you get if you fast and put it and allow it to grow inside of you? Allow that seed to grow. Fasting will help that seed grow. Well, yeah, it will. I know it. But you got to decide if that's what you need to do going forward in life. You know, and it's great. Nah, you know what, me? I can't stand you sometimes. We ain't talking about no dinner, but you just have to understand that it's just that time. It's that time to focus on yourself. There's nothing wrong with being selfish with yourself. At that particular time, that's the only way to go. As a matter of fact, that's the greatest time to be selfish. When you are trying to become your greatest self, you got to focus on you. Calvin, good morning. If you don't focus on yourself, you cannot be great. It's one thing, it's okay to help the world, but what good is gaining the world if you're losing your soul? It don't mean nothing, because can't nobody pour into you if you gone, right? It just makes sense. The math should be math in here. You got to take care of yourself. But in order to take care of yourself, you need to fast and understand, what is it that I need to take care of? What do I need to increase in? What do I need to improve in this life that I am living today? It's up to you guys to understand what you need. I will be there to support you, just like I did 40 days of shorts. Those shorts, I wasn't thinking about doing shorts. I just did the shorts for those people that are going through a situation. That's the best way I can be productive and say, yo, continue your fast, right? That's the only way I can help. That's the way I'm going to help. If I could just be an ear for somebody, if Gary, this fast is too much, yo, hit me up. I'll be there for you. I've given myself up time and time again. If you ever need somebody to talk to, and I'm the last person on the planet Earth, I will be there for you. I mean that. You understand? Because at the end of the day, we all need somebody. No man is supposed to be an island. Man meaning man and women. No human is an island. We are here to be with somebody, for somebody else to be with us. I'm not going to sit there and classify helpmates and all of this and that. No, the fact of the matter is, you was not here to be alone. That's in any religion, whatever. I don't care about Adam and Eve and Steve and Bob and Jill. I don't care about none of the relationship situation. The fact of the matter is, you were not here to be by yourself. The fast is going to allow you are not to understand that you're not here by yourself, and will be placed with a helpmate for you to get through this thing called life. I promise you that. We just got to be obedient. After you finish fasting, you all your senses is up. Your third eye is open, meaning your conscience is open. It's able to see the things that it needs to see. Well, he don't mean me no good, or she don't mean me no good, or they don't want to be here with me, or they don't want to. It's going to open up for you guys. And it may sound like I'm rambling, forgive me, but I'm just telling y'all what the results of my fast got me, because the game is over for me. I won, and I know I won. And there's nothing that is going to take that victory away. There's no asterisk by mine, because I did mine the way I was supposed to do it. God will never forsake you, Noli. You're absolutely right. But until you get that fast and become closer to God, you will be able to hear him even more. He will talk to you even more. The God in you will stir up some things like never before. Sometimes we ain't got to look to the hill from which our help comes. Sometimes the help comes from within us. But because we don't understand that the help is already within us until the fast, we don't know. We can't hear what the message is for us until we fast because we're not focused enough to hear it. It's time to give something up. It's time to sacrifice what you thought that you could not live without for the thing that you truly cannot live without. That is the God that is inside of you, the God that is allowing you to be who you are going to be going forward. And that's just the way it is. Everyone calls when God in the mix. But you got to allow him to be in the mix, right? You can't make cornbread without them eggs. You can't make, you understand what I'm saying? You need everything to combine. You need to stir that up. If you don't, you know what, atmosphere, I can't stand you either. You got to stir up your gift. You got to blend it in. You got to blend it until it makes that concoction to where it is ready to bake. That's what the fast do. You stir up your ingredients. You put the ingredients in the oven. You let it cook. And when it's done, you will see a newness. Hopefully it's a newness to where it comes out of you. And you'll see what I'm talking about. I promise you. Yeah, send him to the corner, me, because he's doing too much. Again, you got fired on your day off again. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. If you playing with that thing, you will lose. I know you joking, but I'm going to make it a serious matter. As long as you keep playing with what you got, guys, it will be defective. It will no longer be in use. You got to stir up your gift. If you don't use the gift, what good is having it? And if you don't fast to find out what the gift is, you just in sinking sand, everybody. And I'm just saying that because that's the truth. What good is having a word if you don't speak it? What good is having a song if you don't sing it? What good is a drawing if you don't put it on canvas? We are all canvases. We are pieces of art. We are something that God has made us to be, a gift to somebody else. Even if they don't know it at the time, if you're doing your best, God will do the rest. If you're doing what you need to do, everything will work out in his favor. And I'm telling you that through experience. If iron sharpens iron, you got to be around iron, right? Or else how are you going to be sharpened? I'm just asking that question. You guys got to answer. You guys can answer that. But if iron is supposed to sharpen iron and you're not around iron, are you being sharpened? The fast will sharpen you up. The fast will make you so sharp that you will penetrate anything possible. That's all I'm telling you guys. Ms. T said, that's why I'm not alone. I've learned that the devil will put people in your life. I always know God is not against me. Keep everyone else at bay. And the sad part about it, Ms. T, and if this touches you, I'm sorry, it's the one that's closest to you. It may be a sibling. It may be a parent. It may be an aunt or uncle. It may be a cousin. It may be your husband or your wife. It could be one of those people that you thought that God has placed in your life, and then they turn around and be a serpent in the grass. You understand what I'm saying? Now you've been snake bitten, and now you want the poison to be taken up out of you. That's what the fast is for. The fast will loosen everything that is holding you bondage. I promise you that. You guys got to do this yourself. You got to receive that yourself. Stop laughing, Tay. But I'm just saying that's what it is, right? You gotta want this for yourself. It doesn't matter if I want it. It doesn't matter if CC wanted, a Scorpio wanted. You gotta want it for the individual who called you. That's just the way it goes. Hell is on earth. You absolutely right, Calvin. And we keep constantly putting ourselves there by doing the things that we think is right. And wrong is right around the corner from us. And we still doing it. Even though we think it's right, we're doing wrong. We're not perfect beings. I'm not saying that. But as long as you strive for it, you will sin less and less every day. The fast will allow you to see that what the best way to strive for that quote unquote perfection. It doesn't mean that you don't try. It just means that you keep trying. It's impossible to be perfect. That don't mean you don't try. You reach for the daggone stars all the time. You reach for shooting stars all the time. What are you talking about? You ain't never gonna touch the star, but you try to touch it, right? So why not strive for perfection? Why not strive to be the best you that you can be? And Cheeky, I know that every day because I see it every day in your work. And that's why I say your content is your character, everybody. Whatever you put on this thing, it is you. And if you think that's not true, you go ahead and ask people around you. If y'all seen that, y'all see that other sector over there when they sitting there and just being chaotic, they're chaotic. This is not an on and off switch. You can't just turn it on and off when you want. That is inside of you. That thing is revving up in you each and every day. Realist, good morning. That thing revs up in you each and every day. As long as you understand that that's inside of you and you don't control it, that's going to be you, right? Obedience. You got to be obedience, right? And in a fast, you'll understand that obedience, even though they say it's better than the sacrifice, the obedience will be the sacrifice. Your obedience to whatever you fasten to, right? I'm trying to get over this addiction. Your obedience to overcoming that will be your sacrifice at the end of the day during the fast. If you are willing to give away, if you're willing to stop eating chocolate, you are sacrificing that chocolate to become a better, healthy you in the body especially. But at the same time, your mind will be clear, your soul will be clear. You're getting rid of things that are not belonging inside of you. And that's just the way it goes. I once again, I implore y'all to try the fast. I don't care if it's just a week. Whatever you think you cannot go within that week, put it on display. Put it up for the sacrifice. I promise you that obedience to overcoming that will be the sacrifice, and you will feel so much better that you say, yo, I can do this again. What else that I need to get rid of? But you got to try it. Don't knock it till you try it. That's why I'm not knocking Ramadan. I'm not knocking Ramadan because I understand they're trying to get closer to Allah. And just like, the Jews tried, the Hebrews, I ain't calling them Jews because they ain't Jews. The Jews are actually the people from Jerusalem. But that little quote unquote tribe of Israel, they wanted to get through the Passover. They doing that so they don't, that death passes them over. Death is going to happen during the fast regardless. That's why, like I said, it's amazing how you fast in the winter, and the fast is completed in the spring. That means let the dead stay where it's at. You're becoming a new you. Once that new you comes, you will be able to see things clearly. You will be able to move in a quicker pace as far as your mental capacity. It'll make you be so observant that you see things before they even happen. It'll sharpen up your vision, your third eye, your mental vision. It may help in the physical. I'm not doubting that. I'm just saying it's going to allow everything to work itself together. But you got to understand that it's going to work in your favor. And if it does work in your favor, you know that you will be blessed, because you will then become a blessing. Your testimony will be a blessing to somebody. You understand? And that's just the way it goes. I don't even know what else to say after that. I just know that greatness is in each and every one of us, from Realist to Atmosphere to Scorpio Mama to Cheeky to CC to Diane to Tay to Intrinsic, Calvin, whoever else, Miss T, whoever else is in the chat, and whoever else is replay. Greatness is inside of you. You have to fast in order to know what you're going to be great in. Tay is great in conversation. She's great as a cook. She's great in her craft of numbers. She's great in that. Cheeky is great at being a historian, right? And Trizit is great in being soulful. Shay Love is grateful. She is great at being obedient to whatever God has placed in her heart. That's where greatness comes from. But in order to know all of these things, you got to take the fast. You got to know what you have inside you. Realist is great at being observant and hearing good music when he wants to hear it, or when he hears it, not when he wants to, when he hears it. That's just the way it goes. I'm not making this up. Y'all know I'm telling the truth. Y'all understand what I'm saying. That's why you got to keep sharpening your gift. It don't stop just because you finish the fast. You still got to put that thing in motion. And until you get to the point of understanding what it is, you'll never know what you have. So like I said, I thank you guys for taking the time out for hearing me. Like I said, it's just amazing how this thing happens. And when it does happen, you can say, you know what? Gary understood. Gary knew what he was talking about because he experienced it himself. Gary understood what he was talking about because he's seen it himself. You understand? If like I said, if you don't go up through the chat and see what Diane told y'all. She told y'all she fasted and got off of cigarettes. I didn't say that. I don't smoke. And those that do smoke, y'all understand how hard it is to leave that addiction alone. That addiction is just as bad as hard drugs. I know that through testimonies. But those that experience it, y'all know what she's talking about. But she overcame that. That's her testimony on this day. Just imagine what the fast can do for you guys. I'm not telling you guys because this is a make-believe. I'm telling you this because I know it. I don't believe it. I know the outcome. I know the results. If you truly stick to the plan, you can overcome these things. Just like if you truly stick to the plan, you can become a boss. You can run your own business. You could call your own shots and not doubt yourself as much as you would if you didn't know you didn't have that in you. So like I said, I'm just telling you guys to, try it out. Not to try it out, it's great to get closer to God, but allow God to instill what you need during that fast to do it. Hold on to God's unchanging hand. And I'm suggesting you do that too, Mrs. T. You understand? Like I said, I met you this morning and you was good, but there's more to your story. Give it over, sacrifice it so you can become the great Miss T that you need to be. I gained 10 pounds. I don't have taste for them. You gain 10 pounds, so you suck. Okay, so now your new goal, Diane, is how to get off them 10 pounds. And I bet you'll do that with no problem because you already overcame the highest of obstacles for you, right? This is something new. You'll defeat this too, right? And that's just the thing. You gave up something. So now if you give up these 10 pounds, you're gonna gain something else. You understand? The sacrifices we make for the embetterment of our health, our minds, our soul, our life is worth the sacrifice. Obedience is better than sacrifice. It is the sacrifice. So I don't know if anybody's gonna decide to take a fast, but if you do decide to fast, I don't care if it's for a week. I don't care if it's for a weekend. Allow whatever your goal is to be achieved. Don't be distracted. You're going to be distracted. Don't fall into the temptation of giving up. We are overcomers. We are winners, and winners don't quit. So with that being said, everybody, I truly thank you guys for stopping by. I truly hope that somebody understands the message that is being given today is that, not to give up. If you do this fast, don't give up, don't give in, become victorious, and we're no longer victims anymore. We are all victorious. We don't have to do nothing that we don't want to do. Tay said, I want to fast. I got a big back and stomach. Well, Tay, this is my suggestion to you, right? Do an intermittent fast, right? Do the intermittent fast around your content. You're a chef, right? So do your best not to eat nothing before you present your content. and then give yourself time for that, for it to digest. And then, by the evening, you probably won't be hungry. So fast around, okay, you do your content around 3. So go from like 12 to 7. And then stop your fast there, or 12 to 6. Give yourself like 6 hours and then try to do a 18 hour. I don't know how long you fast before, but if you're gonna do 12 hours, so just do 5 to 5 in the morning, 5 p.m. to 5 a.m. or 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. Give yourself some time. Start but a 12-hour intermittent fast. So that way you can be able to stop, craving because your consumption of food is trying to get you out of context. You know what I mean? So that would be my suggestion to you, and that would be my suggestion to anybody. If you're gonna fast, like I said, you don't have to fast the way that the Bible fasted and really not have nothing for 40 days, because some of us may be on medicine. Some of us may need those things. Just do the fast that you can. I would suggest a 12-hour fast, right? So if you do, okay, you have dinner at 7 o'clock. All right, go from 8 to 8. And the best part about it is, in a way, you should most of the time you'll be asleep during your fast. So that should be even better. It gives your body time to break down what you have. If not, use the nutrients that you ate and restore your cells and things of that nature. But you got to do that. You understand what I'm saying? That would be my suggestion to everybody. Miss T, have a blessed day. But thank y'all for taking the time for hearing me out. If anybody got questions about fasting or whatever, I'll stay on a couple minutes. And if not, I'll step away. But just make, this is the beginning of a work week for a lot of people. Let's make this work week the best week. Let's just get through this with, positivity in our back pocket, knowing that we can be great. So I'll just fall back and, if anybody, even a small amount of word is better than no word at all. I mean, I agree with that, and my thing is, once you hear testimony, you can't say I didn't hear that. You understand? It is what it is. You heard it. You can't say I didn't hear that. What you gonna say? You wasn't paying attention? You understand? Like you heard it. So Meek would put me in the corner for saying that. Tay, what Tay say? I missed it. I can't, I missed everything. But no, she wouldn't have put you in the corner for that. Stop lying. I just read it. She wouldn't put you, but nah, but we just gotta do what's best for us. We really, really, really do. You know what I mean? But like I said, the next slide that I'll probably do is gonna be divine will and permissive will. What's the difference? And we're gonna try to do our best to break that down, because a lot of us don't really understand what those two things are. And I just feel like some of us are in our divine will and some of us are in our permissive will. So because we don't really know the differences, I think that's the thing that we should break down. Even if, like I said, it don't got nothing to do with God. Divinity is divinity, right? It don't matter if there's Allah, Buddha, a Hindi priest, whatever you think it is. It's a real thing, and I'm pretty sure we all can agree on that. So we just got to understand what the difference is. So like I said, this is me taking the time to sign off. I thank you guys for showing up. Continue to be blessings, everybody. Even if you don't think you are, continue to be blessings. With that, I'm out. Have a good one, everybody. See y'all later.